Hi guys, so just to introduce ourselves whilst Richard is getting the PowerPoint up for you. My name's Phoebe and I'm a third year child field of practice student nurse, and I do the Research and Leadership Masters.
Hi, sorry, my name's Jack. I'm also on the Master of Nursing Research and Leadership, but this time in the adult field.
So today we're kind of just going to give you a brief overview of life as a student nurse.
So in this brief talk, we'll discuss your first year content, placement opportunities that you may experience throughout the course, and opportunities for elective placements that you can get involved with.
We'll then give you a bit of an idea about different social activities you can get involved with during your time at the University of Birmingham, the different programmes that are involved in the School of Nursing, and then we'll discuss some employment opportunities and there'll be a little Q&A at the end.
Next slide, please. So most of you will have studied biology or health and social care before starting here. But in your first year, the course aims to get you all on the same page and eventually apply this knowledge to real life scenarios. Anatomy and physiology covers all physiological systems in the human body and introduces you to pharmacology, which is the study of drugs and the effects they have on the human body. Public health will be introduced so that you can explore interventions and health policies that have been introduced in the UK. During these lectures, you'll be able to study other aspects of nursing, including research, and understand the importance of health inequalities.
So then you'll have your placement and your skill sessions, and these are aspects of the course that allow you to transform all of that knowledge about anatomy and physiology and public health into practice. So the skills lab, which Richard mentioned earlier, you can learn skills like catheterization, NG tube insertion. You do all of your like drug calculations and practice with drugs, and then also basic observations as well, and bed making, things like that. And then during your placements, you'll have the opportunity to obviously practice those skills on patients under supervision, and gain some experience in different areas of healthcare. Obviously, this, as well as developing your skills, you'll also get practice hours for this. Then the last part of your first year, you usually have a reflection on your practice. So you take different events that have happened, decide what you've done well in those events, what you could have done better, and kind of evaluate how other people acted in the situation as well. So reflection is something you do throughout the whole course and also during your nursing career as well.
Next slide.
So we'll just give you a bit of a brief overview of different opportunities of placements you might be allocated during your time at the University of Birmingham. Just to quickly say, these will be different for different fields of practice. So Jack, as an adult nurse, is just going to give you a bit of insight into the adult specific placements.
Yeah, so adult placements at the University of Birmingham are mainly based in the University Hospitals Birmingham Trust. And they can include the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Heartlands Hospital, Good Hope Hospital, the Royal Orthopaedic, and other local hospitals in the area. The QE is my favourite placement area, just because it's so big and it's very, very close to the med school. To the right of the image on the slide is the med school. And if you've not seen it before, it's a 2-minute walk from the med school. The QE has the largest solid organ transplantation program in Europe, and it's the largest critical care unit in the world. The QE is also home to the Royal Centre for Defence Medicine, with several allocated units for the Ministry of Defence, where they train medical defence personnel, as well as the specialist unit where the Nobel Prize winner Malala was cared for. As a student, you'll have the opportunity to work in a variety of specialist wards and units and work directly with nurses, physios, occupational therapists, as well as doctors. Next slide, please.
So for those of you doing the child field of practice, most of your placements will be at Birmingham Children's Hospital, which is in the city centre. So Birmingham Children's Hospital is part of the Women's and Children's Hospital Trust. It's a leading paediatric centre And obviously you have lots of specialised care there, and children come from all over the country to be cared for. So whilst you're at the Children's Hospital, you might get a variety of different ward-based placements. So they specialise in cardiac, liver and small bowel, oncology. You also have opportunities potentially for an emergency department placement or in the intensive care unit or theatres as well. As well as the Children's Hospital, there are some other hospital sites, for example, Wolverhampton, and the Women's Hospital have like a neonatal unit, which you might be allocated as well. So as well as this, there's also opportunity to gain experience in paediatric community settings, and you also might get some exposure to paediatric mental health services as well.
For those of you who are interested in mental health field of practice, sites such as Rayside, Olleyester and Ashcroft are some of the placement areas that you'll be allocated. Neither myself or Phoebe are mental health nurses, so we haven't had any experience in this area. But if you have any questions related to mental health placements, please ask in the questions and we'll try and give you the information. So
as well as your university allocated placements, you do have the opportunity to do an elective placement as well whilst you're at the university. So there's a big range of things you can do for this. It's basically your opportunity to pick an area of nursing where you'd like more experience outside of the standard Birmingham trusts. So this could be, you could go abroad. Some people do it with like Work the World. I personally have done a nursery placement to gain experience of child development. I've also worked with an education team to get a bit of experience in nursing education. And some people do things like shadow advanced clinical practitioners or ward managers. So there's a lot to do for that.
So during my elective, I had the opportunity to work with a nurse-led research team fronted by Dr. Nutmeg Hallett and Professor Caroline Bradbury-Jones. So Birmingham City Council commissioned the University of Birmingham to investigate the health needs of sex workers. And although the research isn't going, I've had the opportunity to assist with the data extraction and the development of a scoping review. And this year it shall be published, which is quite exciting. It's going to be hard to summarize all the things there are to do in Birmingham. So we've just highlighted a few things that we enjoy doing while studying nursing. So nursing is work hard, play hard. And with the many clubs that exist, your sport for choice of what you can do.
So one of the examples of nights out people like to go on as student life, there's a bar on campus which on Saturdays turns into a big student event called Fab and Fresh, which is probably one of the biggest club events whilst you're at the university. On sports night, which is on Wednesdays, basically all of the sports societies also have a night out, and that also happens in the same Joe's bar. So other options, there's different clubs in the city, and Selly Oak, which Richard mentioned earlier, is where most second year students live. And there's a club called Serco, which does nights out on Mondays and Fridays.
My favourite night out is Gales, which is located in the city centre within the gay village, and it's fun opportunities to see drag acts, express yourself and meet new people. UOB is also fortunate to have its own gym and pool located on campus, which was home to the athletes during the Commonwealth Games that Richard mentioned earlier. Sport and fitness comes with its own climbing wall, and it's where most university sports teams will come to train.
So the picture in the bottom left of your screen is Winterbourne House and Gardens. So it's a place on the university campus, or it's just near it, and it's free for students, and it's a lovely option if you're just fancying a nice walk, a nice like cup of tea or a coffee with some of your friends, and a bit of a break from work or like crazy student life. So there's lots of different options, and there's definitely something for everyone. So there are lots of different courses you can be involved in the nursing school. So you've obviously applied to one of these, so you know which one you're doing. The first one is the Bachelor's of Nursing. So that's the 3-year programme, which I imagine most of you are on. There's 3 different fields of practice that you could be doing this in. So that's child, adult and mental health. And it's a 50-50 split between theory and practice. And to achieve this degree, you do 2,300 hours of placement.
So the Masters of Nursing, which Phoebe and myself are on, or M-Nurse for short, shares the first 2 years of the program with the B-Nurse cohort. But rather than finalizing in your third year, you explore modules related to the M-Nurse program that you're on. So this year we've been engaged with research and leadership modules, where we explore like avenues related to research nursing and quality improvement, as well as developing leadership skills relevant to senior roles in the healthcare setting. The other M-Nurse program is the dual qualification, where you are provided with an extra year to gain a second qualification. So that's either adult and mental health or child and mental health.
And that final qualification, the MSci, which is at the bottom, that's a postgraduate degree. So it's 2 years, so it's a lot shorter. And it's usually for people who have already had healthcare experience, and have obviously done a different degree as well.
So the university has many opportunities for you to engage in casual work that can fit around your studies and placement. The Guild of Students, the Student Union, provides bar work and student support roles that can help to keep the Student Union afloat. Other opportunities are provided by WorkLink, the in-house recruitment agency that can match you with roles in Costa, Starbucks, or like Phoebe and myself today are student ambassadors, and we're helping the School of Nursing.
So another opportunity you have for part-time work whilst you're studying is to be a healthcare assistant or a clinical support worker at one of the trusts. So I do it with at Birmingham Children's Hospital, and adult nurses I think can do it with University Hospital Birmingham Trust. So essentially you apply for this role after you've gained 1 year of experience, so your first year, and essentially you do the same thing as what you do as a student nurse on placement, but you have a bit more responsibility as you kind of look after your own patients. So it's a great opportunity to gain some clinical skills, and definitely confidence in speaking to your patients as well, and also experience working with the multidisciplinary team. So those are really the kind of opportunities, and obviously any other independent part-time work as well. So that kind of summarises our talk for today. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what it's like to be a student at the University of Birmingham. Please do ask us any questions if you have them.